Test.
Test.
All right, we will go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for coming today. We are excited to get to know your MTSU started again for this year. And we are happy to have our University Police Department back to get us kicked off for the fall semester. So we have Chief Edwin Kopp and Jeff Martinez here to talk about all of our resources here on campus and different safety measurements that we have. And I'm going to go ahead and swing it over to you guys.
Thank you, JT. My name is Edwin Kaup, spelled K-A-U-P. I am the chief of Middle Tennessee State University's police department. A little bit about our department. We are actually a police department, so it is all of our officers undergo the same training as every other officer. They're post-certified, have to keep up their continuous training to keep up their certifications. They go to the police academy, train every year, and whatnot, have full arrest powers. We are 24/7. We are accredited by CALIA, which is the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement. It's a national or international accrediting agency for law enforcement agencies. As far as our department, we are budgeted for a total staff of 56, which includes 44 sworn officers, 7 civilian dispatchers, 4 professional staff, and an emergency manager, or emergency operations manager. Without reading from a page, the basic mission of our police department is to make sure that everyone is safe and secure on campus, that we create an environment where everyone can learn. If people are afraid, it's going to be very difficult for them to learn, and we are an educational institution, so that is our goal. We take that goal very seriously. A lot of us are parents, and we realize that sending your kids somewhere, away to school especially, is, as a parent, it's quite a thing to worry about. So we try and make that transition as good as possible by having such a great place for us to work, but also for the students, faculty, staff to attend. Jurisdiction. Jurisdiction for campus law enforcement in the state of Tennessee, we always get questions about. Our jurisdiction is anywhere on campus, any university property, anywhere contiguous to a university property, so anywhere around it, and then anything between properties and anywhere else the university has an interest. So as you can imagine, that opens our jurisdiction up quite a bit. It surprises some people when we arrest them or we stop them a bit of a ways off campus, but at MTSU, we have a lot of property. We have places everywhere, right? Sooner or later, we're going to Shelbyville all the time, and we have the airport in Murfreesboro. We have 3 farms. We have a lot of property that we respond to, although we do it concurrently with other jurisdictions. Murfreesboro and Rutherford, we have a terrific relationship with. Captain Martinez will talk a little bit about how we staff events and we hire back officers and stuff. But just working around Murfreesboro. We spend most of our life here on campus. But we also respond to calls that are around campus. Murfreesboro and Rutherford come for our trainings, but also to assist us with things. Like at the farm, the sheriffs are going to be out there fastest because they're generally over there. Murfreesboro Airport, probably Murfreesboro is going to be the fastest response to the airport itself because we're driving probably from here. So our relationships with them are very important, and we work together really well. So as far as what you see on campus, you're going to see our officers out there all the time. We have terrific people. You have a great police department here, which results in very little crime. As President McPhee says, one crime is too many, but considering our size, the populations we have very little crime. Most of our crime is property crimes, and it is crimes of opportunity because people leave their stuff around, right? The biggest thing is professors or staff will leave a purse and go, well, no one's going in there. Well, people are in and out of your room the entire day, or out of your office the entire day. Shut your door, lock your door. That's advice that we give with students or anyone else. Don't leave your laptop on the table to secure a seat when you go in and get food or go to the bathroom, because it might get up and disappear. With that said, we also have a very robust surveillance system on campus where we have around 13 or 1,400 cameras. All right, there is not too much on campus that we can't go back and look at. One of the things I tell incoming freshmen or people who are new to the university, especially students, is remember that we have all those cameras. With students will generally get in trouble for, they'll bump somebody's car in a parking lot, be late to class, they'll run to class, not report it, and then have to tell mom or dad that there's a big dent in the car now. Then their parents say report it. And they report that someone else must have hit their car. That is a felony in the state of Tennessee. So we try and warn all of our people about that. Hopefully this is more geared towards staff and professors and stuff. So we won't have that issue. I always like to put that out there that we have a lot of cameras. There's not much you can do on campus without being recorded at some point. We also have, we have fixed stationary cameras, we have automatic plate readers, we have mobile cameras where we can put them on, we have a trailer, and we have something else we can put on a vehicle that if we're having an event or we're having something that's concerning to us where we don't have great coverage, we will add more cameras. So we'll be able to drop a trailer off. Hopefully you've been to the football games. You'll see in the Grove the camera setup is there right now. You'll see it for big events when we have speakers or stuff like that. You'll see that around. Those are ours. We are very service oriented, and I think that's the purpose of doing these talks is what do we have to offer? So other than great people, great officers who are here to help you, we do a lot of training, which Captain Martinez will get into in a few minutes. We help with lockouts, whether that is you left your keys or your purse or your laptop and you got yourself locked out because the door is timed out and you can't get into your classroom again or your office. We're going to come help you do that. Your car won't start. Now, we are not mechanics, but we do have tools that we can use to jump your car if it is a battery issue. We also help get into your vehicle. So understand that you'll have to sign a waiver that if something breaks, but our guys are really, really good at it, way better than I am at it. So we do a ton of training around campus. Like I said, I'm gonna let Jeff talk about that because he's the one who sets it up. But the service aspect of our department is terrific for me, being a chief, knowing that our people are always out here willing to help and trying to help. It makes my job simple, right? Because that's what our job is. Our job is to help people. So seeing our officers out there all the time in squad cars, on bicycles, walking around in the dorms, walking around in the buildings, just to get that face time so everyone is comfortable talking to us is a really big thing for our department, and our officers are really good at it. We currently have 2 K-9 units. That is, I usually get bypassed for that. I go to meetings, they're like, where are the dogs? Why didn't you bring the dogs? So we have a narcotics dog who also does tracking. So if someone runs or we have a lost kid or something, he's really good at that. Sergeant Brooker and Bobby is that team, and then we have another team who is Master Police Officer Dishner and Ace. Ace is a explosive trained dog and also does tracking. So they've been used, now they're used, of course, and Jeff can talk about that as well, with sweeps and stuff. But when I said earlier, we work with Murfreesboro and Rutherford all the time, but they've been called as far as Laverne and Nashville for stuff because they're really good at what they do, both the dogs and the handlers. I think the biggest thing for our department as far as faculty and staff is if you see something, say something. The biggest hurdle we run into is we hear about something that's been bothering someone for a couple weeks, but they just didn't want to call us. And they tell their dean or their associate dean or another professor, and then it finally gets to us, and it's 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later when we could have probably solved it in a day or within a few minutes. So my biggest ask of anyone who's watching this, give us a call. We have really good people. The worst that happens is we come up and we have a conversation with somebody that is freaking somebody out for some reason, or is making someone uncomfortable, or might need help and they don't know to call us. Okay? So that is my biggest ask is please call us. Let us know. I was talking to JT before this, talking about if you see someone trying to get into a door, whether you know them or not, don't feel bad, just call us. For one, we might be able to help them get in the door if they belong here, but if not, we can go, why are you trying to get into a door? Right? And then we can point them in the right direction. If it is someone that works here and their key isn't working or their access cards aren't working, something like that, we can help them. We can facilitate and tell them who to go to get that fixed. Or if they're trying to break into something, we can stop them then. Okay? Do you want to talk about how we set up special events and trainings? This is Captain Jeff Martinez.
So first, I'd like to talk about our training classes that we put on for faculty, staff, and students. We have one going on right now at Todd Hall in room 204, and that one is civilian response to an active shooter incident. It's a hour and a half to really a 2 hour long class. It takes every bit of hour 45 to 2 hours to get it done correctly. We have 6 certified instructors on that, and so you can schedule that by emailing me directly. There's also a link on our website for a police officer presentation request, and that request comes right to my email. And then we just schedule it from there. We're scheduled it for, today was 3 o'clock. We have one scheduled in a few weeks at 10 o'clock. If you want one done at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's when your time frame is there, we'll get someone there to do that. We're 24/7, and so we're going to provide that service no matter what. The class can be a bit intensive at times. It's no nonsense, but it gives you the information, and then it always leads into questions about your area specifically. So you have a certain area that you teach in or that you work in, and we'll come talk to you about how you can respond appropriately to any type of situation that may arrive for your workspace. That's one class that we offer. Of course, we offer what's called a RAD class. It's Rape Aggression Defense. We offer that once a semester. We have several instructors on that class, and that's done. It's a private class. The windows are blacked out. We scheduled that, and it's a 6-week-long class where our instructors basically teach you how to defend yourself should something arise. And it's basic stuff, but it's good stuff to have. As long as you're over 13, you can come to that class. And you have to. The certification that we have in that class right now is for female only, and that's just how that company does our certifications. We'll do drug and alcohol presentations. We have one of those coming up in a few weeks for fraternities. That can be a PowerPoint, and it can also be hands-on. We have what are basically called drunk goggles. We also have, what do they call them for, they just, marijuana goggles too, or, yeah.
We have things that were purchased with a grant from the Tennessee Highway Safety Authority that partners with law enforcement agencies across the state to do drunk drug driving type stuff. And what it is they're goggles that they mess up your vision like you would if you're intoxicated on cannabis or marijuana or drugs or alcohol. So they do that type of thing to give the people, this is where you would be at, type, this is what, it's a lot easier for a sober person to think outside the box and go, wow, I don't feel that messed up when I'm messed up, to realize how unsafe it is to drive while you're intoxicated.
Yeah, so we have one of those set up right now for one of the fraternities, and it's going to be an interactive one. We'll put them through a standardized field sobriety test. We have some interactive things for them to do where they'll just try to do basic functions and see how much it impairs them. And those glasses they make you a little wonky, and they make it difficult. We have specific instructors on domestic violence. Detective Tommy Roberts is a detective that we have here, and I consider him a subject matter expert in sexual assault, domestic violence, stalking, and he's been doing this a long, long time, and he will provide classes, information for, like I said, for anybody, any group, any time of day. Then we also offer like a general campus safety class. We'll do it for University 1010 class, and that goes over basic, stuff like we're talking about right now, the speed limit on campus, we talk about our walking escorts in that class, and some of the services that we provide for that. So those are some of the basic classes that we have, and all you have to do is email me or fill out the form on our website.
And Jeff had just mentioned walking escorts. We also have student workers, between 10 and 15, depending on the semester, because we do require them to stay on breaks and be here. And they help us to secure buildings, but they also do our safety escorts for us if an officer isn't available, which is if you ever feel uncomfortable or it's dark or you're having a bad week or you have something going on in your life where you want an escort, just call 2424. Call our dispatchers. So 615-898-2424 is our number direct to our dispatchers. You can dial that on your cell phone, it goes to our dispatchers, or on any department phone, it goes to our dispatchers. Remember that if you need to call 911, 911 on your cell phone is going to go to Murfreesboro, because they're the main hub for 911. So it automatically goes to them. As soon as you say, I'm at MTSU, they transfer it to us, okay? If you dial 911 from one of the department phones, it automatically goes, or from one of the MTSU phones, it automatically goes to us. So remember that. If you're watching this, or if you're in an audience, put that phone number in your phone. That way you always have it. But our students are terrific. They're very professional, and they do their jobs well. And it's a great service for us. It's a great service for our campus as a whole. That if you don't feel like walking alone, someone's going to come with you. And it's never a bother. They love it. We love that we can provide that service. So take advantage of it. If you ever just need the company to walk to your car or to walk to your classroom, or something is going on where you need some backup, just give us a call for that.
Yeah, that's just to reiterate what Chief said. It's never a bother. Our officers are happy to walk with somebody. Depending, no matter what time of the day, if they just don't feel comfortable, we're happy to do it. You want to talk about events? Okay. Yeah. So I also plan all the special events that we have here on campus. Football, basketball, speaking events, any type of protest, any type of vigil. Really, any type of event that there's a large crowd at. And I work with the areas that are responsible for those events. We're working with the student union right now on some events. I work with athletics pretty much daily on events and Murphy Center staff. We do employ Murfreesboro police officers and Rutherford County Sheriff's officers as contract officers to help us staff those events. So sometimes you might see an officer that's in a different uniform. Just know that they are working for us. They do, they're instructed on how to obey our rules and regulations, our general orders. I go over them with them in detail on how we do things here at MTSU. And they're really good about helping everybody else out also. Most of them have family members that are associated with MTSU or have at least gone to MTSU in some form or fashion. I can think of a handful right now that have family members that are employed here or that also played sports here and that type of stuff. So they have a connection to our campus. A lot of them also used to be employed by us. So, depending on what the type of event is, I'll plan with that area. We'll use our K-9 units, specifically ACE, for those different types of events. We'll coordinate with Murfreesboro Police to their explosives K-9 units will come through and secure an area and sweep a stage and sweep an area so that they know when we go to that event that it's been secured and everything is clear. Our K-9 officers, a lot goes into that work. People don't know how much work goes into the K-9 units. Every Tuesday, and I mean every single Tuesday, they don't miss a Tuesday. They're training together. Sometimes it's here on campus, sometimes it's not, but every single Tuesday from 8 or 9 a.m. until about 9 or 10 p.m., they're training and helping each other. There's a multi-agency training session at which they, unless they're on vacation, they do not miss. Okay. We also work with our aerospace program to provide drone overwatch for for our major events. Dr. Corns is very great about helping us. We just did an event with him on Saturday over at World Outreach for the THSO Touch a Truck event, and that went great. We have an event that we're planning this week where Rutherford County schools, their elementary schools, I guess grades 3 through 5, will come to Murphy Center for basketball games. The amount of planning that goes into that event is enormous because we have to worry about SROs staying at their school, and then we have to staff the event, plus get the kids back for drop-off at a normal time. So that's an event that we're planning right now, and it takes everybody. It's like 5 different agencies to work together to make that event work well. Let's see. After each event, there's an evaluation process. So I go back through and I look at the event, and I have to submit a report to chief, and it says, these are some of the things we did good. These are some of the things we need to improve on. And every event has those type of things, whether it's how did we respond to a weather delay? Last football game had a 2-hour weather delay, and so we work with athletics and Murphy Center staff to get people directed in the right area, and then stuff like that where the oddball stuff that you normally wouldn't think of an event that as it comes out. I have to give, after every event, I give chief an evaluation of those, and then the next event we build on those and see how we can improve. Events are a big part of what we do. Every graduation, it takes the majority of our department to get everybody into the Murphy Center safely and then out to their vehicles safely. And we're always looking for for ways to improve on how we do those things.
And I think that's part of the good thing about our department is how well we work with everybody else. Assistant Vice President Ron Malone runs the special events for the university. So Jeff, I don't know, you probably spends more time with Ron and with athletics and with Bonnie Bonifish at Murphy Center than a lot of other people, just because of the amount of events we host at MTSU. But I think that's one of the reasons he's good at his job, and we have such a great department, is just the relationships we've built across campus in making sure that everyone is safe and everyone feels safe. No one wants to hear me talk until 4 o'clock. Why don't we, does anyone have any questions? Yes, sir.
Hey, I don't know like if it's appropriate to ask, but I wanted to discuss what happened like 2 weeks ago regarding that little scare that we had. So basically, I got the message afterwards saying that there wasn't like a threat. Like next time, is there gonna be like a text saying that like something's happening at the moment?
I will limit my talk on this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll answer your question. I'm just going to limit it a little bit because I'm meeting with the president. We're trying to work some stuff out. But that incident, understand that in the university, the communication section for the university is the voice of the president. That's who sends out messages. We send out emergency stuff because it's easier for us to send it out than them saying it. Understand from the police department perspective, at least from my perspective as a chief of police, my job is to protect everybody. It's not to message people. Yes, messaging is important. Yes, messaging, if we believe there to be a threat, we would always do, because we want to give people clear and precise directions. We also have what's called the Clery Act. The Clery Act says we have to evaluate the threat to safety on campus, and if we evaluate it and we believe there to be a threat, we send out a message saying there's a threat. If the threat's already done, we're not going to send out a message. There's a caveat to that. Once again, we are in the process of working on a project with President McPhee. All of that might change the way we do these things. Understand from the police perspective, the only time we're going to send out a message generally before this incident, the only time we send out a message is if somebody is in danger. So if we believed there to be an actual threat, a message would have went out. And we would have given clear directions on what to do, whether it's shelter in place or get out of the building or something along those lines. We try and be as clear and concise as we can, because if not, it leads to more confusion. And if we had put something out saying, hey, there is an active shooter which there was no evidence of an active shooter other than people thought that someone said it somewhere. Understand that. We responded. We were on scene within 2 minutes. I was telling other police departments to stop coming within 4. It takes a while after that then to talk to every single witness just to make sure that everything is fine, even though on the scene we knew it was. I say knew, 100% sure is a different ballgame. So that's what happened in that instance, is we knew responding to it, we're always going to respond like there's a threat. The messaging is a different point. I don't want to scare everybody and freak everybody out and have them locked down for 7 hours if I don't think there's a threat. I hope that makes sense, and there might be more clarity as we work out a different process. But understand that no matter what, for one, we want people to report stuff. Not a problem at all. I would prefer, and this is for faculty and staff, less than students, but we never sent out a message, our dispatcher still got over 200 calls, right? Because everyone's parents start calling, everyone's friends start calling, going, hey, what's going on? They're not answering their phone, they're not doing this, they're not doing this. I have children. Getting them to answer a text or a phone call is an act of God. So, But when you start calling our dispatchers and they're trying to look at surveillance cameras, they're trying to coordinate the response of at least 3 different departments, and everybody's all going and everybody's doing this, and make sure that everybody's safe while they're answering a call going, Joey didn't answer the phone, it gets to be a bit tedious. So we always ask to hold off on the information part instead of calling our dispatch office. Because if you call Murfreesboro, it's 911, they're gonna transfer you back to us anyway. So that's coming in now. So we have all of those calls. So in that vein, if I were talking to students right now, or parents of students, I'd say, give us a little bit we will get you information, but let us make sure everyone is safe first. And that includes our dispatchers. Not sure if I answered, I hope that was good. No other questions? Well, thank you. JT, got anything?
No, thank you all for coming, and we will get this recording out in the next few weeks, I would say, and we look forward to having you back for more.
Here, I'll add one more thing. So I give out the phone number. Our webpage for the police department has a ton of information. It has safety information, it has what to do in emergency information, it has contact information, it has, where everybody knows the blue lights to red phones. Just a little confusion about that. Sometimes people think if you hit that button, it's an alarm. That's a really, really expensive Ring camera. It goes directly to our dispatchers, and it has a camera. So if you hit that and you say, hey, dude's following me, they'll be able to see that and respond to you. So go ahead and use those, but understand it's not going to set off an alarm. But if you hit it and it's not real, then we're going to know who you are. So anyway, on our page, so if you go through any of the MTSU pages and put in MTSU Police or it's police.mtsu.edu is our webpage, has a ton of information on it. And not only phone numbers, but it also has links for other stuff. So please visit that page and you can learn more about the department. Thank you for watching.